Hello and welcome to my WWA Season 1 draft breakdown. I am your coach of the Toronto Roadrunners, Quynn. This is a VGC league following similar rules to the WB. Everything will be best of 3. And I wanted to break down what we are drafting. So we were second pick overall, which means I pretty much got to have my first thing, which means I could start building kind of a team around it immediately. And then, however, because we were second pick, after I picked my first Pokemon, I would have to wait a long time before I got my second one. So I kind of had to plan accordingly because of that. Obviously there's some things I kind of regretted doing. I'll go over that when we get there. But I think for what my team is, I think it's really good, and I think it'll be very, very helpful. And I think it'll be probably one of the best teams in the league. It also is completely legal. Excuse me. In Series 6. So at any point, I could use any of these ones on the ladder. And have a good time with them there. So the first Pokemon that we drafted is Polytode. Our girl Lucid will be the nickname of our Polytode going forwards. Polytode, well, not like spectacular stats, is really strong. If I need to, like choice specs in the rain. It's got 90 base HP, 75 base attack, 75 base defense, 90 base special attack, 100 base special defense, and 70 base speed. And then the only ability on it that matters is Drizzle. It does have access to Water Absorb and Damp, however. Drizzle is just the one that we're going to be using. And the reason I drafted Polytode round 1 was because I wanted to guarantee that I have the best rain setter and that I can get a lower tier rain setter after I pick a couple other pieces up that I felt like were going to go. Because I refuse to use Pelipper. Pelipper is dog shit. But we have Lucid with who also has access to like Helping Hand, Protect, Icy Wind, Parasong, all sorts of fun different things we can do with Polytode. I could also mix it up and decide to go choice specs Drizzle and just absolutely demolish things if I notice that Polytode, like Rain doesn't do well, but Polytode does. Like if they have a good answer to some of my later picks, but they don't really have a nice answer to Polytode, I can just start blasting people down because I could also run min speed Polytode against Trick Room teams and deal with them like that. So the next Pokemon that we picked in round 2, we grabbed a Lowland Marowak. And the reason that we grabbed the Lowland Marowak is for its ability Lightning Rod. Now, Lightning Rod redirects all electric attacks and to Marowak, and Marowak is immune to them, which is very, very helpful for stuff like Max Lightning, Rising Voltage, Thunderbolt, etc. from all the Pokemon that can learn that. Especially with Pincurchin being pretty good in a draft format like this, because it is like you don't have to fight an Indeedee on the ladder every time. You don't have to fight a Rillaboom on the ladder every time. So I wanted to grab a Lowland Marowak. Lowland Marowak helps a ton with our with the Rain Sweeper that I ended up picking. It has 60 base HP, 80 base attack, which is really 160 because of the Thick Club, 110 base defense, 50 base special attack, 80 base special defense, and 45 speed. Is really good against Trick Room teams, and later on the line you will see I do have a little bit of a Trick Room core. Will be really good for that Trick Room core as well. Abilities are Curse Body, Lightning Rod, and Rock Head. Any point that I'm not running my my Rain core, I will just be using Rock Head. Because Rockhead will let us fire off Flare Blitzes for free. If I'm running my Rain Core, we're running Lightning Rod. And I'll have to see if Flare Blitz is important. If Flare Blitz is not important, I will be running Lightning Rod, just because having an immunity is better than Rockhead if I have nothing to use it for, right? So Alolan Marowak should be good. Pele is her name. If you guys are in Jal, my league, you guys know Red Rum is that one. This one is Pele, because it is not shiny. Yes, I'm weird like that. Next up, we have Galleon, our Scizor, which was our round 3 pick, which we picked pretty close after Marowak. And you may be wondering, why would you pick touching on Marowak again, you're like, why did you pick Marowak right after Polytode. They kind of work against each other. And then you picked Scizor, who works well with it. Really, because these two picks were together, I had to look at the person who picked first and see which Pokemon they were going to take, which one I thought they were going to take more, and I had a feeling they might have taken... and neither of these Pokemon I don't think they would have taken, because they had Gmax Cinderace. So I had a feeling that I would be able to get both of these with no questions asked. But we have our Scizor, who works really well under Rain, because it does mitigate that ×4 weakness and makes it more like a ×2 weakness. And with Scizor's base 70 HP and 80 base special defense, it could live a Flamethrower or a Heat Wave, especially a Heat Wave, because Heat Wave will be cut in half. And then even if it hits by a Flare Blitz, I will be living that because we have base 100 defense. But yeah, so Scizor has base 70 HP, 130 attack, 100 defense, 55 special attack, 80 special defense, and 65 base speed. Very good mon outside and inside our Trick Room. Pretty much going to be mono banded. There might be a situation where I don't run band and I run like AV. But it's most likely going to be mono banded. You're going to be clicking Bullet Punch, U-Turn, Dual Wing Beat, which was basically created for this Pokemon and Scyther. That's it. That's what that move is for. And then as well as having access to like Assurance, Superpower, etc., different coverage moves that'll hit like a truck coming off of Scizor's base 130 attack. Abilities are Swarm, Technician, and Light Metal. Technician's kind of its only ability. Technician does let us deal very nicely with some of the lower power moves that we have, like Dual Wing Beat makes it completely better than any other flying move it could get. Unfortunately, does not have Bug Bite, because Bug Bite was a tutor move in Gen 7, and Scizor does not. Scizor or Scyther do not learn Bug Bite by level up. So we are without really strong Bug Stab, but we do still have U-Turn to hit things like a truck. Next up, our Rain Sweeper we grabbed in round 4. We grabbed Mantine. By the time this video goes up, you will have seen me gush about Mantine on the ladder. Mantine is very, very strong, has 5 special attack less than Kingdra, but is way bulkier. And the speed stat doesn't really matter, because Mantine will serve its purpose in Rain. And if it's outside of Rain, then it's already going to be a little bit of an issue. So Mantine is very, very good in Rain as a good Rain Sweeper. Our girl Fish Chip, she will be she hits like a truck, and she gets Stab Max Airstream, which Kingdra does not, which makes her hit even harder than she would originally. So yeah, 85 base HP, 40 base attack, 70 base special defense, or 70 base defense, 80 base special attack, 140 special defense, and 70 base speed. Swift Swim is the only ability that matters. However, it does have access to Water Absorb and Water Veil. Yeah, Mantine I think is super underrated. A lot of people question me going Mantine as my Rain Sweeper because Kingdra was still up, because Seismitoad was still up, because Dreadnought was still up, because Gmax Dreadnought was still up. And you may have noticed, it's round 4 and I still don't have my Gmax. Spoiler alert, I don't draft my Gmax till the end, because by round 3, everybody had already picked their Gmax. So I was like, cool, I don't need to worry about it. I can leave my Gmax till the very end. I can build the rest of my team and come back to my Gmax, because nobody can snipe me. Nobody can snipe my Gmax. First, my plan was to do Gmax Duraludon, because I didn't think the Gmax that I really wanted would still be up. But we ended up getting it, because nobody drafted Gmax Duraludon or the thing that I wanted to get. And we'll get into that. So yeah, Mantine is going to be our premier Rain Sweeper. I hope Fish Chip does her job. Next on the list, we got Persian, a Lowland Persian. And now this gives me a very valuable speed tier at 115 speed, which a lot of our team is very slow. The highest speed in our draft so far before this was both Polytode and Mantine with base 70. But we grabbed Persian, who also has access to support moves like Fake Out, Snarl, is really bulky with Fur Coat, could also be offensive with Technician, although I really doubt I'll end up doing that. Lets us do Fake Out plus Setup, lets us do Snarl support. Overall, going to be a really fun Pokemon for me to use. I've been looking at Lowland Persian, and I think it could be used a little bit more on this meta now that Incineroar is gone, because they kind of vie for the same spot. Same with Arcanine. But that's not important for the purpose of draft. I think Persian's going to be really good. If not, Persian is a tier 2, and there's a lot of good tier 2s still up, so I can't F her away if I need to. But I have faith that Persian will be very, very helpful for our team. Base 65 HP, 60 attack, 60 defense, 75 special attack, 65 special defense, and 115 speed. Her abilities are Fur Coat, Technician, and Rattled. Very, very good Pokemon. Very good, very fun to use. Probably going to be rocking an AV a lot, which makes her very difficult to kill. Because I think Fur Coat doubles defense so that would make it 120, and then 65 times 1.5 would be her special defense stat after Assault Vest. Next, we drafted Heliolisk. And this was the first time I got sniped. I got Heliolisk sniped, like, literally the pick before me. I was like, alright, this was Jolteon originally. Literally the pick before me, Jolteon gets taken, so I'm like, alright, I'll take Heliolisk. It's 1 point slower. It's either 1 point slower or 1 point weaker than Jolteon. Either way, we'll still hit like a truck. Dry Skin is even a good weather ability for our team. It gives a little bit of passive recovery, so I could be running Life Orb Dry Skin, and then in the rain, Life Orb becomes obsolete because we recover the HP from the Dry Skin. Also, it works as counter Sun, because if I do run Solar Power, then Heliolisk will be able to just start denting teams with that. And I feel like Heliolisk kind of gives our team another good speed tier at 109, as well as it's like a fucking truck. If this thing is, like, if I see a team that is super weak to electric, does not have a ground type, does not have lightning rod or volt absorb or anything like that, I can literally just lead Heliolisk, Dynamax it, fucking next to Polytode, click Helping Hand, and bam, something dies if they're slower than Heliolisk. Nothing will live that. Nothing. Oh, sorry guys. I ate breakfast before this, so my throat is a little bit hoogie. But Heliolisk is going to be very fun for our team. Gives us very good speed tier. Has base 62 HP, base 55 attack, 52 defense, 109 special attack, 94 special defense, and 109 speed abilities. Dry Skin, Sandveil, and Solar Power. Gives us good counterplay to all the weathers. Sandveil slightly worse than the other two abilities, because it is only as if I was holding a Bright Powder, I believe. But it is still a nice option for anti-sand as well. Give me a sec, guys. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Sunstar. I forgot to mention that person's name is Brassheart. And then Heliolisk names is Sunstar. Next, we have Lemon Patch. Now, this was actually a free agency trade. I did not draft Greedon going round 7. I originally had Musharna in this slot, and then after I got my Gmax, I realized I didn't need Musharna. So, a little bit of spoilers there if you can guess what my Gmax is. But we got Greedon. I think Greedon is super underrated. Base 120 HP, 95 attack, 95 defense, 55 special attack, 75 defense, and 20 speed with Cheek Pouch and Gluttony. Cheek Pouch, if you guys did not know, recovers 25% of your HP when you eat a berry. So if you eat a citrus berry, you recover 50% of your HP total, which makes it a very good belly drum sweeper, which is exactly what it'll do. And because it has 95 attack, it's a really good attack stat already, so you need to run minimal attack investment, and you can just put the rest of it into bulk, and you'll be able to just start blowing things up on your enemy team, and a lot of things, will have follow dealing with it. I think Lemon Patch or Greedon will do very nicely, especially because we do have Follow Me support. We have Fake Out support for it. So if I think, okay, I can Fake Out this thing, Belly Drum this, the other thing won't be able to kill me, I can then max it and start denting teams into oblivion with Greedon. I think Greedon is super underrated, and I feel like we'll see a little bit more usage now that Incineroar is gone. But I think Greedon is going to be very, very fun for our team. And I hope Lemon Patch shows off why Greedon, I think, is a little bit underrated. Next, we picked Thwacky in round 8. And the reason I wanted to pick Thwacky was because a Choice Banded Thwacky really deals with Primarina. And Primarina won't be able to deal with it next to our Follow Me support, which means I can just kind of Choice Banded Woodhammer it, and it'll kill max HP Dynamax Primarina, which is very, very good for us. 70 base HP, 85 base attack, 70 base special defense, 55 base special attack, 60 base special defense, and 80 base speed, which is another good speed tier for our team, actually. With the abilities Overgrow and Grassy Surge, we're never going to be running Overgrow. It's just going to be Grassy Surge. And then we... her name is going to be Autumn. Autumn will be able to fire off Grassy Glides, Fake Outs, good Eviolite user, good Choice Band user. It's a very nice Pokemon for our team. And it gives us terrain control. Nobody has Indeedee, but somebody has Pincurchin. I tried, trust me, once I saw that Indeedee was still up and we entered Grace Period, I tried to work out my team so that I could grab Indeedee, and it just didn't work. I would have to give up my redirect Pokemon, which I did not want to do. And we'll get into my redirect Pokemon after this. But yeah, so I think Thwacky is going to be very helpful for our team, and I feel like we will be able to use it and abuse it as we see fit. Next on the team, we drafted Tangrowth. Tangrowth named Daisy. Different from Vision, different from Charlie from our Moon Randomizer. Much love to Charlie. R.I.P. Charlie, R.I.P. We got 100 base HP, 100 base attack, 125 base defense, 110 base special attack, 50 base special defense, and 50 base speed. Currently, I believe the third slowest thing on the team behind Greedon and Marowak. That is not important. However, under Chlorophyll, we do base 100 speed, which means we can hit things like a truck. Unfortunately, the only... if it is against Sun and we do bring it, it would have to be against Venusaur, because Venusaur... because Charizard will just obliterate us into the nth dimension, while Venusaur could possibly not be running a poison move and suffer because of that. Chlorophyll, Leaf Guard, and Regenerator. I picked Tangrowth as a redirect because Togetic got sniped. That was the only other snipe. I really wanted to get Togetic. And then when Togetic got sniped, I was like, shit, I need to figure out what I'm going to do. And that kind of changed what my second tier 4 was going to be, because I drafted a Lowland Marowak, I knew I was going to have to grab another second tier 4. So I had to rethink that what it was. It was originally going to be Lopunny to do charm support, and shut down a Moongus by tricking Assault Vest onto it. However, because of no Togetic, I had to rethink it, and I decided to pick up Tangrowth because Tangrowth has proven to be really good and really valuable in Jaw and in testing. I really like Tangrowth in a VGC draft. I think Tangrowth has a ton of potential. Can really soak hits from physical attackers, can really abuse the fact that it has 125 by never investing in it and still being able to take like 3 hits from certain max Pokemon and non-max Pokemon as well. Pretty much my lead options right now are like Mantine Polytode, Mantine plus something else, Polytode plus something else, Greedon plus Persian, Persian plus or Greedon plus Thwacky. There's a whole bunch of different lead options I have, and I feel like with adding Tangrowth to the mix, it gives me a lot more redirect and follow redirection support, and gives me a little bit more lead options. So I think Tangrowth will be a very nice addition to the squad. Our second to last pick, and you guys may be looking at the screen and being like, why would you do such a thing? So, By the time I got to this, I already knew what Gmax I was taking because it could not be sniped for me anymore. So I already decided what I was doing, and I was like, I want something that can be anti-Trick Room or set up Trick Room if I need it to, that is relatively bulky and is also a ghost type. And I was left with this thing, or I was left with Pumpkaboo or Phantump. And my brain said Pumpkaboo is cuter and is a little bit bulkier. The stats on screen for it, it's base 59 HP, 66 attack, 70 defense, 44 special attack, 55 special defense, and 41 speed, are all its super form. Its abilities are Pickup, Frisk, and Insomnia. It has access to Imprison Trick Room, it has access to Trick Room, it has access to Leech Seed, Trick or Treat, Shadow Sneak. I think Pumpkaboo has a little bit of value. And I feel like people are going to sleep on it. Her name is going to be Lavender, and she is going to be our little adorable pseudo mascot, I guess, on the team. And then lastly, you guys will know if you are in Jaw that I have been using and abusing Gmax Hatterene, and now in WWA, I get to be using a different Hatterene. We are using Gmax Hatterene, this time shiny, and will be called Starburst instead of our non-shiny Star Siege. With base 57 HP, 90 base attack, 95 base special or defense, 136 base special attack, 103 base special defense, and 29 speed. She is a great Trick Room Pokemon. Really good paired next to Tangrowth, as Tangrowth can redirect. She can set up Trick Room. I can then bring in something like Greedon, like Marowak beside it, and we can decimate teams like that. People have to respect that I both have a Trick Room mode and a Rain mode. So I feel like picking up Hatterene over the Duraludon really helps my team, because Duraludon, well, yes, it would have provided a Steel type for my team. It didn't provide, and a Dragon type. I don't think Duraludon fit my team as nicely as Gmax Hatterene did, filling in both the Fairy and the Psychic type for our team. And I feel like because we have Hatterene, people have to respect that. And there's even opportunities where, like, oh, I'm against a Trick Room team, I don't want to, and Hatterene is slower, I can use Hatterene to use and abuse their Trick Room. As well as they don't have a Trick Room mode, they're really weak to it, I can use Hatterene like that. Or Hatterene also might force them to build for a Trick Room mode, and then I whip out my Rain mode and they get decimated because of that. So yeah, Starburst is joining the team as the last and final pick of our WWA draft. Battles will be starting sometime next week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Yeah, wish us luck. Peace.